Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Chris. And today I'm going to talk about maintaining your car. But in this case, it's not your car, it's your body and your mind and your spirit. Bye. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And this week's Sketchpad video is in relation to your homework. And your homework this week is about avoiding life's hemorrhoids. Don't get stuck or push too hard. So I hope you get the humour. And by the way, in the picture here, I'm not having a pee, I'm doing Tai Chi. And I don't make a rhyme every time because I'm a poet and I don't really know it. And so what we're going to work on is going through this process. Now, you will remember the back on track. And what I've done in this homework is reworded it for a bit of fun. But the fundamentals of back on track still remain vigilant. Letting go, magnetize your body, biophilia, build self-worth, sustain an open heart, your vision, and evolve your bastard. So the 5 steps are still foundational to getting results, and this is your daily power hour. And so there is method in the madness of my coaching. It is sharing a way to stay on top of the game by being one step ahead. In other words, moving yourself through what you need to be moved through before you need to move through it. So I reworded this just for a bit of fun. Lighten up, power up, clean up, rise up, self-worth, look up, vision, chin up, and last but not least, fuck up. Now, the fuck up part is the most important. We'll go through this and have a chat about it. So what we're going to do is ask you to score yourself from 1 to 10 on each of the areas of lighten up, power up, clean up, rise up, look up, chin up, fuck up. And here's your score sheet. So you might say out of 10, you're operating at a lightening up. You might feel heavy at the moment, so you might put 4. Powering up, you're getting plenty of exercise, you might put 6. Clean up, getting out into nature, finding stillness, reconnecting with your heart and soul, you might put 10 because COVID gives us lots of spare time. Rise up in self-worth. Maybe you're not operating on your highest priorities or your values, you might put 2. Looking up, having a clear vision, you might gauge at 7, whatever it is. Chin up means, are you getting over your emotional depressions and disappointments? Are you staying positive and grateful? You might put, yep, I'm really working on that. And fuck up, am I embracing my incompetence? No. So what we know is nothing's ever missing, is just changes in form. So when you said you're not lightening up, the question is going to be not whether you need to lighten up or not, is where is it? So what I'm going to ask you to do in the second stage of this is implement the universal law of abundance. So you might say, oh, I'm only 2 in rising up, but there's 7 areas of life, you know that. And you might be rising up financially, you might be rising up mentally, you might be rising up physically, you might be rising up in relationship, but you may not be rising up in one of the 7 areas of life. So it's really important to realize that nothing's ever missing, just changes in form, especially when we score ourselves low. That's just not going to work for us. So I've given some instructions here on this at this point to say, okay, why don't we get back to basics? And here's your homework for this. This is the homework to implement what I've written in the this week area of this PDF. So I'm going to go through these slides relatively quickly because you've got them to read. And if you haven't got them, please text me or email me. I'll send them over to you. It's a really fabulous week of self-awareness, but it's also make sure we stay on the basics in life, because if we forget the foundation principles of growth and then we start growing by reaction, that's more a firefighting existence, and it's not what an extraordinary human being does. An extraordinary human being is one step ahead of everybody else. So we're trying to grow ahead of the curve, not grow because of the curve. So lighten up and letting go. It's really important to stay light. And that means to wear a pair of glasses in your life that sees rainbows instead of thunderstorms. Now, I know this might lead back into the old glass half full, glass half empty. And unfortunately for many people, the heaviness of self-examination, which is called healing, the heaviness of healing has remained with them long after they've been repaired. So lighten up is really important. The way I suggest you do it is by always putting things through an emotional shower so that you, in a sense, stay flush, stay light. The next one is refuel and fire up and power up. Now, what's important here with the personal magnetism aspect of what we do is build, store, stop loss, and direct energy. And we must think energetically about our health rather than think how many kilometers we rode or how many push-ups we did or how many biceps we've created. It's a ridiculous notion unless we're in the Olympic Games. So for most people, energy management is the absolute key to refueling. And there it is, the graph. Clean up. Getting out into nature, I think, is the fundamental cause, or the lack of it, is the fundamental cause of most mental health problems. And people who sit in offices, who worry a lot, who think a lot, whatever, usually do it in a chair opposite a computer screen and then wonder why things are going pear-shaped. We were born under a tree. We need to go under a tree and sit for a while and enjoy the reflections of ourselves in nature. Rise up. We know that in a day you'll have 1,000 things to do. And the question is, which one comes first? Who's on first? If you want to look at a great video, look at Abbott and Costello. The video is called Who's On First, and you'll find it on YouTube. It's hilarious. But what comes first? And if you've got the 7 areas of life, what we need to do is divide the 7 areas of life and talk about work. And what are you doing at work? What's your priorities at work? Now, if your priorities are driven by a boss who's in reaction, you need to take control. So to understand what comes first and what you value and what's important to you and what's going to build your self-worth, we've got the values questions. And I suggest you go through them again and remind yourself of what are your core values, because that determines what comes first. Look up. There's even signs on bus stops these days to remind us to look up. But the human heart has only one thing, the future. So a closed heart has lost interest or lost hope or lost celebration of or lost enthusiasm about the future. Now, the future, we can piggyback someone else. In other words, fall in love with someone and we hop on their back and we go with them for the ride. Or we can do it ourselves, or we can jump on a wagon with a bunch of other people. It doesn't matter. The future, which is to the right, is what we care about, and that's what keeps the heart open. And so that's why it's really important to ask these questions that I've put in your homework and do the vision template. I believe this is really important for personal well-being. Finally, chin up, which is in another language gratitude, or I think it's actually spirituality. Spirituality is the ability to see beauty. And in Greece, they called it symmetry, proportion, and order. In other words, they actually mathematized beauty. And the ability to see the world in a beautiful, symmetrical way and see balance in life and see the order in it, as far as I'm concerned, that is spirituality, because it gives us peace of mind. And so I would strongly suggest that you go through the process of checking out whether you're spiritual. So we continue with the idea of fuck up. Fuck up means that we celebrate incompetence, we celebrate chaos, and we're happy to say, I don't know. When somebody asks us something, we go, I don't know. If somebody says, how are you going to? We say, I don't know. If somebody says, when will it be done? We say, I don't know. We need to embrace the unknown with as much of a grip as we embrace the known. In the unknown, there is half of life. In the known, there's the other half. So if we can't cope with the fact that we're going to learn from situations, we can't cope with life. And I remember I went to Oberton in Austria to learn to snow ski. This is me learning to snow ski. And there were moguls and bumps on this ski, and it was off season, so it was pure ice. And I roared down that ice at a speed that was really a balance between the enjoyment of doing it and the fear of stopping, crashing at the bottom. And so instead of limiting my 3-week ski holiday, I went and had ski lessons on one topic, and that was how to stop anywhere I wanted on the slope. Now that was really important because in order for me to celebrate the unknown, what's going to happen down the mountain, to go faster and enjoy my sport better, I had to know how to arrest, that I could recover or I could handle anything that was ahead. And so I started to celebrate the unknown more. And as a result, of course, I ate the concrete. But it was such a great trip. It was such a fantastic trip, and I enjoyed every minute of it, even hitting the concrete. So enjoy your homework for the week. Please, if there's any questions, ask. Bye for now. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, share it around, give it a tick and a like. Have a great day. Bye.